Welcome to Short Shot Archery. Today I'm going to be showing you how to set up your string jig so that you can make your own string. Now this is going to be the first part of this series, and I'm going to be going through step by step on how to make a string. So step one, the setup. So first off, we need to square away our string jig. So the one I'm using currently is I think it goes 104, 108 inches worth of string jig from BCY. You technically don't need one this long, but I didn't know at the time of buying it if I was going to go and try to make strings for maybe longbows and stuff like that. Currently I've just stuck to recurve all these years of making strings, but it's nice to have that option. Overall it is pretty heavy. You definitely need two hands lifting this, but if you do get a string jig, you probably want to clamp it down. Mine's not clamped down, and you'll probably see in later segments as we go through the steps of making a string that it ends up moving some, especially when I put tension to make the string nice and tight. And just in general, from building the string, this jig will actually move, even though it is quite heavy. So, number one, once you assemble your string jig, whatever brand, try to clamp it down if possible. Next up, measuring your string. What length string do you need? I shoot a medium riser with long limbs. That's a 70-inch bow. So generally you would take 4 inches off of that, so I would need a 66-inch string. Now, from experience of making strings and from just the fact of my brace height on that bow is a little bit higher than your average bow, I know I need a 67-inch string for the correct brace height and to have the proper amount of twists in the string. So now I'm going to go and set my string jig to the 67 inches I need. So you break out your handy dandy ruler. Now generally here, I like to just lock down one side. So I like the placement of this side of the string jig. It's not in the way of this leg here. It's not, I still have some space, so if I need to stretch the string, I can pull it and I have space without coming off the main rail here. So I got this locked down, definitely snug. It's always going to move some. Not too much up and down, just a little bit, but that's not really going to mess with your string length. And from experience, because you're going to have to make more than one string in order to get good at this. Probably about a half a dozen. Maybe I can save you a few strings if this video ends up being very helpful for everybody. But I end up locking down one side. I take my tape measure, put it on the far post, and I measure down. And I go and find 67, and then loosen this side up and slide. Now, since I've been doing this a little bit, I cheated a little bit and pre-marked where these two posts need to be. So I actually have marks on this string jig in permanent marker telling me, oh, this is where I need to set up to get my 67-inch length for my string. So I personally am just going to do that. Now I know they're exactly at the right length. Now when you're first trying it out, you're going to have to do a little rearranging in order to get it to work. Now, a second way you can do it. Of course you should always have a ruler handy, but if you say you want to make a string for a friend later on or whatever, and you didn't quite know the exact length of their string, or maybe you're just unsure on your own string and you didn't have a ruler handy, you could technically take your string with the twist still in it, put it on the far post all the way at the end, stretch it all the way out, and it's about an inch you have to add to make the correct string length, because you're going to lose about an inch when you twist the string up. Okay, so there we have it. We have our string jig set up, ready to go. Now it's time to choose our colors and move on to the next step of actually applying and attaching the bowstring to this jig.